So AI in
Yeah,
mixing?
so I was talking with I have a success manager for one of the freelancing platforms I'm on for mixing, and I was talking with him. I was just like, "What do you think about AI? Like, what are you seeing happening?" And he was saying like, within the freelancing platform, some areas have like completely are like basically being killed off in real time, which is like sad to see. But one of them is obviously like design,
Yep.
visual design. AI is like jumping in there, and also like words, copywriting, script writing, like translation. And he's like,
Oh,
it's yeah, translation is freelancing is like completely destroyed. But one thing he said that was like really hopeful, and I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, so what is it? What does it look like? What are you guys? What are your experts projecting about music? And he just said, I actually don't see mixing being as impacted. And I said, well, like I'm seeing some new AI mixing plugins and stuff like that. But then we got talking, and it was like there are some things that computers just can't replace when it comes to making human art. What do you think, bro?
I would agree because I think there's two things. So one is like right now AI is currently being trained on humans anyway, and so it's like the day when amp sims start creating their own amps is like the day that I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from now, but like they're still emulating analog hardware, and so you still have to have the analog hardware to emulate it. And yeah, like you can make your own tweaks and your own digital versions of it, but it's still analog hardware at its core. And I just feel like when it comes to I want to say this in the nicest way possible, but like translating something from another language is becoming like a commoditized service. But when people listen to music, they want to listen to human beings make something. They care a lot less about the actual like um, music is not a product that can just be commoditized and replicated over and over and over again and then you're done. Like people listen to Drake because he's Drake. Even though like how many times have you heard people be like, you know what, Drake's that one Drake album wasn't that great or that one Drake song wasn't that great, but no one like stopped listening to Drake because of it. They liked Drake, so they continued to listen to him. And so I think building a personal brand around your music is going to just solidify musicians in the space because people, especially now, are craving human connection
They're
more than
craving it.
ever.
That's
And
what I was about to say.
AI is cool. Yep.
Well,
Yep. I think
music
AI is
is
cool, but
it is cool, and it definitely has a place and it has a role. I do see it becoming a little more. Probably it'll go after mastering first. It already is. But there are some things that, like you said, man, like music is connection, and music that leaves a mark on us is real human connection. You listen to it, you resonate with what that person had to say. But if it's like this song was just made by a computer, there's the connection just isn't there. It's something
yep.
that computers can't replicate emotions. They can maybe understand them and which ones are more impactful. But let's say AI gets into editing vocals, for example. And AI might be able to be like, okay, this take is in time, this take is in tune, this take has an aggressive inflection indicating a strong performance at the chorus. But in every single group of playlist vocal takes you have, you're gonna have takes that are just have that extra emotion in it that you as a human
Yeah.
can hear and you relate to, and you're like, that one, I don't know what it is. It's just something special about it, and I feel it more than the other. I'm more convinced than the others, and that's where the computer won't pick it up as easily, or if at all. There are human things and human connection things that cannot be replaced, and this is why, um, you know, humans will always make music, and there will always be a role for humans to play in the production of music. It might change a little bit. Some things might change. Lots of the easy things that are it's something that you say all the time, Andrew. Like these tools are just here to make it easier for us. You had a really good video about AI, and it's like they're just some of these tools are going to come in and actually make things easier for us so that we can focus on the part that actually matters, which is the connection. And maybe AI can take over some of the more meaningless, menial tasks that just have to be done as part of the process.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think one thing is I don't know if you've heard of the artist Boy What on Instagram, TikTok, but he's been making those SpongeBob AI covers. Have you seen that?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, it's ridiculous. He's got one coming out, actually coming out tonight. Dude, I follow this guy. Like, I'm really interested, or girl, whoever it is, and I'm really interested in their music. And they got one coming out tonight. That's dropping. It's all about plankton, like in the metal, like being like dropping a metalcore banger. And of course, like I'm obsessed.
SpongeBob content will always hit.
It will. But the funny thing is, like the comment section is filled with two things. One is just absolute love for the craft of music, and two, they want to know who this artist is. The artist is using AI vocals, but there's still somebody writing it. There's still somebody producing it. Like, we don't have, like, this. It's not there yet. Like, you can't just ask AI to make a song for you and it makes it. So somebody has to be behind this. And people are so interested in knowing who this artist is. And so far, we don't know who they are. But it captivates us. The same thing with Marshmello. We don't know who he is, but it captivates us. It grabs our attention, and we want to know who they are because we feel like we have a connection with them because of the art that they make. It's not the same as translating something from English to Spanish or to Portuguese. It's completely different, and that's why I think that that jobs that are more creative, people want to see creative people do creative things and to see their creative work and to hear their creative work. And that is just never going to go away. And I think it's only ever going to get stronger because AI will start to get harder to distinguish from actual humans, and because people still require that connection with other humans, they're going to want to make sure that they get out there and find other humans that they can follow. Dude, 2020 was a great example of it, where even though we are more connected than we ever have been because of the internet, and yet we still long for connection because the digital world just can't replicate it. It can enhance it. It can stack on top of what we already have, but it can never replace it. And I don't think AI will ever be able to replace us.
In some ways, it can even make you feel less connected by showing you fake connection so consistently. It subconsciously emphasizes that you don't have that for real right now because you have to stare at it on your screen. So It's this weird, like, it's creating this weird, confused connection within the human psyche, which is like really interesting. One thing that you said also, just going back to the SpongeBob thing, it got me thinking, like, the best ideas will always be human. Like, AI can come in and it can be like, okay, like, make the voice sound like this and do this, but all of those prompts, everything will stem back to that human idea, and the human ideas are always the best ones. Because even if you go into ChatGPT and you say, brainstorm me like 10 things about this, the ideas that come out are cool. They're not that cool. They're usually very plain. So if you get more creative with your prompts, they can be more creative on their end. But if you just sit there and think on your own, what is a really good idea? You're going to get a better idea if you just focus for a few minutes and just listen to yourself as a human mind. You're going to get a better idea come to you out of all 10 of those other ideas, you know?
Yes.
Most of the time. Agree. And especially in music, you know, if it's especially like, write this melody, or you take the extra time, you sit down, you make something very, very human that, you know,
it's still distinguishable.